Hey guys, this is Marcus. In this video, I'm going to show you the Ford Transit Nugget. We took this camper van. This is our fourth camper van, third different type, on our way from Germany to Marseille. So we'll check it out and see if it's the right fit for you, especially if you have children. Okay, so here is the Ford Transit Nugget that my wife and 3 kids and I took on our trip from Germany to Marseille. And this is about day 5. And I'm gonna go over some of the things that we liked or we are liking and we don't like as much as maybe the VW T6 or the Mercedes Marco Polo. Right off the bat, I'll tell you, I don't particularly like how it drives compared to the VW T6 or Marco Polo. It's just a little bit higher and it drives more like maybe like a truck or a bigger van compared to the VW T6 or Marco Polo. Those drive a little bit smoother, but I do like the fact that it's a little bit wider. I also like the fact that this particular model in the back has a kitchen. It has lots of storage space down here. It doesn't have a built-in toilet, but we have a porta potty right in that cupboard right there. Out of the positive things, I think this is the best thing, that we have the opportunity to stop, turn on the gas, the water, wash our dishes. We have a sink there. We have some cubby space for utensils. Yeah, so we have pretty much everything that we would need for several days. And that's what we're doing right now on a 7-day trip. We have our cooler right there. And then we have our 2-burner stove. With kids, this is very, very convenient because we can stop and make something to eat, heat something up. We can have some tea, hot chocolate, and then there's lots of cubby space right along there. As you can see, we have our junk bottles and soap and snacks and things like that. So then there's a cubby here. So when you're going with kids, it's really, really convenient to have that in the back. Although it's very hard luckily we only had 1 day with rain, but getting through to the back with, there's 5 of us. So you can imagine this van is kind of tight. And then here inside, you have 3 seats here on the bench seat and then the table, and that table flips out once again. So the table comes to the end of this bench seat here. We have Harvey's little car seat. That is, taking a car seat along is another challenge. Well, not really a challenge, but it just takes up a lot of space. So when you want to put this down to sleep on it, then you got to move that around, and there's storage under the bench seat here. So you got to move that all around to lift up the seat and get the storage out. So lots of things to think about when you're going with kids and using a small camper van, a smaller sized camper van. The seats swivel back. This passenger seat is easy to swivel. This passenger or the driver's seat is not easy to swivel. So we kind of just leave it that way if we're stopped. Other than the way that it drives, I guess that's the only negative thing. Maybe the table here. I'm sure you can get a better table. This table is a little wobbly. So if you're sitting here with kids, Harvey's always climbing around. It's hard to get him in one spot. So it's a little wobbly. You can't have anything that can spill. But overall, I really like this model because it fits 5. It sleeps us fairly well. We have 3 small kids, 11, 8, and 3 years old. So we can fit in here, the pop top. And because the Ford Transit is a little bit wider, you can fit 2 or 3 comfortably up there, like 1 adult and 2 smaller kids, or just 2 adults. Down below, obviously, it's the size of the 3-seat bench seat, so it's not as wide as the pop top bed. Overall, it is really nice for a trip of a week or so. I think one of the most fun things is trying to find a place to stay. Obviously, there's paid places that you can stay. Yeah, it's served us very well. If you're going with 4 or 5 people, especially kids, then this is a really great option. So our Ford Transit Nugget served us very well over our trip from Germany to Marseille. The highlights are the back here with the kitchen. You have the sink, you have gas stove, 2-burner stove, you have the fridge, storage. It is kind of bulky. There's 5 of us, so me and my wife, the 3 kids, getting in and out, and especially if the weather is not very nice, then you're kind of staying in the van. But overall, it's a really good opportunity to see a lot of things. Take your time when you're traveling with kids. A lot of the times you have to make stops all the time. I need to use the restroom, or I'm thirsty, or we need to eat. And so for us, traveling throughout Europe in a camper van or a big vehicle like this is really the ideal option, because otherwise it would be very, very slow, and expensive if you're going, flying around or taking the train. Whereas even though the gas prices are higher, this is definitely more economical, and you can stop at really awesome places like this little town in France called Lourdes. Otherwise we wouldn't have come here. So if those are the kinds of trips that you and your family are interested in, then I would highly recommend checking out renting a camper van like this.